This is the last couple of weeks of the Russian invasion of Ukraine, if it was a TV show. Like, that's how I'm going to explain it to you, okay? So the first thing you need to know is, like, last week, right? A drone hit the Kremlin, all right? The Kremlin is the Russian version of the White House, right? And a drone flew up right next to a flagpole on the Kremlin and exploded and burned a Russian flag on their version of the White House. And the first thing the Russians did is they tried denying it, and then everyone's like, dude, we have the video. And then they're like, oh yeah, well, we shot that drone down. And then people watching the video are like, dude, you did not shoot that drone down. You clearly don't have air defenses. That shit reached its destination, and then somebody hit a button and it went pop and burned your flag. And then the Russians are like, whoever did this, listen, y'all, we got nukes. We'll nuke the world. And the entire world looked at the Russians and said, if you would have, you could have. Like, you would have already done it. So shut up. So then the Russians, right, they're just like, shit isn't going well. They're losing troops left and right. They have this mercenary group called Wagner that is run by a crazy person, right? And what this dude does is he goes and he hires prisoners from Russian prisons out in the middle of nowhere, like their version of Ohio, right? And he takes these people and he brings them to Ukraine and he sends wave after wave of them at the Ukrainians. And they just get mowed down. And this dude keeps losing battles left and right. But here's what his favorite thing to do is, right? He likes to make unhinged videos blaming everyone else but himself for it. He blames the government. He blames the military. He's standing in front of dead bodies going like, this is because they didn't send me enough ammo. This is because of that stupid old man. And everyone's like, yo, who's he talking about, stupid old man? And people are like, yo, is he talking about Putin? And then at one point, this dude said, I'm about to pull out of Ukraine and maybe I'll come to Moscow. And like everyone lost their mind then. Everyone was like, yo, what the hell is going on right now, right? Which brings me to yesterday. So you know how in America, like we don't have good social services because we spent all of that shit on like war and planes and missiles? The reason that happened is because for the last 70 years, the Russians have this big scary parade every year. And it's this big scary parade where they have all their troops march down the street. They got all their tanks. They got all their missiles. They got the helicopters flying over. And like U.S. congressmen see this and they're like, we need to go get more money to Raytheon, like right away. This year though, the Russians, like they had their big parade, right? First thing, they had less troops than they've ever had in the history of this fucking parade. Like they held this parade during World War II and they had more troops because they walked right from the parade into battle. They had like 11,000 troops. Almost all of them were literal kids. Like they couldn't even grow a beard. But this is the funniest part. Instead of having 30, 40 tanks, you know what they had? They had a tank. A single tank. They didn't have enough tanks. And because of that, the Ukrainians today posted a video of all these burned out shells of Russian tanks that Ukrainian tractors have dragged to their own capital. And in the video, they said, hey, Russia, if you need to find any of your tanks, we have them here.
Любых условиях. По Красной площади проходит колонна основных боевых...